I'm Mary. I'm the oldest one in the family, and I have a lot of remembrances and things to think of. I remember the family reunions, the family times Dad used to take us all out to the creek to wade around in the creeks, and it was always a big moment in their life when we were all together. And I think of a lot of the things that we kids did at home, like my sister Joanne and I would play bombs and we'd drop things out of the trees, and my brother Mike would swing out across the railroad track and fell off of the monkey swing on the railroad track. So, well, some things are sad, but it's been a beautiful, beautiful life.
I remember Joe taking me with him wherever he went because I was his sidekick.
I am Joe, son Joe. Yes. And I'm closing in on 70. I remember this whole incident began with my dad. His family, which was, I believe, 9, used to get together once a year, and that's how it got started, and they were always there faithfully. And of course, as each one brought their group along, it swelled into a group of probably close to 75 or 100. However, they're all gone but 2 now, and now we have the 9 of us to keep it going. And but we used to go in farmers' meadows, bye-bye now, and farmers' meadows and places along the creek and things like that. And it was always a neat thing for that reason. And I know we have pictures of the kids down by their watering hole there and whatever. And it was a neat thing to get to see these people at least once a year. We do a little better than that. We usually see each other at least twice a year, and maybe 3 times. So it's still a nice get-together, and the children are behind us to carry it on as we go on. So it's something I look forward to, and I'm glad I'm a part of.
And I remember going fishing with John.
I'm John, third to the oldest. It's Mary, then Joe, and it's me. And we had a pretty nice get-together, Joe and me. And we liked to hunt and fish, both of us. And we had some pretty enjoyable times. We was going down the river, fish. Mostly at the project and down there. The project 7 is right around the corner from us. And we got rained out a couple of times. And then we went to Farm Pond, where Burnell's the lucky one and always gets the biggest bass you ever saw. 2 of them together one day he saw, and he didn't see nothing else, even though there was fishing. And after a while, he had a huge one. And he said, well, he had a bigger one than that got off. So us 3 brothers were fishing that day. I was there catching bluegills, nice big, as big as your hand. And I'm enjoying myself. And he says, come over here and catch them big fish. I said, I'm having my fun, you go have yours. So then he caught this great big bass. And all that. Then I got a little more interested in bass. But he is the luckiest guy, Purnell. He always we go fishing together, he always get the biggest fish. And one day we were down the river and he was getting cranky, he wanted to go on home. I said, no, let's stay down here. I know we can catch some more fish. And after a while, what do you know, he ends up all but 20 inches long bass. And I have never landed a bass yet in my life that's 20 inches long. And so we still have enjoyable time fishing.
I remember going shopping with Joanne.
I'm Joanne. I'm the second girl in the family. I remember the good old days when my brothers got me in all kinds of trouble because I was real gutsy. They got me to cut holes in the chicken wire. The chickens went next door, and when my dad came home, they blamed it on me. I dug for gold for him. I got a lot of trouble.
And Burnell was really close.
Hey, I'm Burnell. I'm between John and Fred. And John was talking about fishing. The hell, he never could fish when I was alone because I always outfished him. He always said I put shit on a hook and I caught fish. Didn't matter. He'd give me the lures that didn't work for him. But I've been put him to shame a long time. That's about all I got to say.
And Pat was the little mother when my mother was sick.
I am Pat, and I'm fifth in line. And I remember going for walks with my dad, and he used to take us out in the country and over railroads and stuff like that. And we enjoyed it so much, and that's what I miss.
Fred always teased me until he got married and found out I was a person.
My name is Fred Smith. I am the second from the youngest brother, and I remember when we used to have family reunions that we used to end up in the woods somewhere with a stream, and I was just saying when we came here that was the most exciting thing of our lives that we can remember. Then Dad would take us out every once in a while, and he'd have a picnic, and we'd pull up along this creek, and we'd have ourselves a nice time. I can remember them days very well.
Mike and I were very, very close.
My name's Mike, and I'm second from the youngest. I'm the ninth of 10 children. And I'm supposed to tell you something I really remember.
I remember when, yeah.
I remember when. I remember a lot of things, and I guess it goes back to the picnics we used to have. It was so somewhat primitive, but so many memories that stick with you. I remember Dad, he wasn't supposed to have sweets and stuff like that, so he'd get a whole doggone thing of ice cream for us. And then we'd take the hot ice and throw it out in the creek, and John, he'd be picking up snakes, and we'd all be running from him. I remember the good old days.
I'm Teresa Kerbal now, and I'm the last of the Mohegans. I have 5 kids, got married in '66, and I remember a lot about my childhood. I remember a playhouse that we played in a lot, a little yard that we made circles around our roses playing in, a large garden that was more of a field than a garden. I remember my mother spending nights darting socks when she was relaxing. I remember waking up on Saturday mornings to my father's fried eggs and onions. I loved reunions. I remember reunions at Marsh's Creek, and the time we had the old car, the Willies, and we'd back it in the water and give it a bath while the rest of us swam in the water. Then we started having corn bakes down at Reg and Mary's Woods, which was a lot of fun. I remember being spoiled by some of my older brothers and sisters as they would take me into their homes for a weekend, and we'd have a lot of fun. And I remember going shopping with Joanne. I remember going fishing with John. I remember Joe taking me with him wherever he went because I was his sidekick. I remember nagging him for a tricycle, which I never got. And Pat was the little mother when my mother was sick. And Mike and I were very, very close. And Fred always teased me until he got married and found out I was a person. And Burnell was really close. All my brothers and sisters are wonderful people, and I'm glad to be in them.
Cheese!
Yeah,
Smile! One more! Cheese!
It's pinpointing.